On today's episode, we talked to Jonathan Brutto with BruttForce Strategies. He's your health insurance guy. And we talked a little bit about everything. His long hair, his Netflix binges, and I don't know what else. I kind of forgot.
This is the Marketing Natives, providing actionable ways to grow, improve, and succeed in your business. And now, your hosts, Christian and Aaron.
All right, Jonathan, welcome to the podcast. And just so you know, we always like to ask an easier question. We get into some complex, very thought-provoking stuff later, don't worry. But we like to ask a very intro level question, very easy, very sometimes could be humorous. So we were texting this morning when I was telling you, like, hey, we're going to be on video. And you're like, okay, do I need to get, what do I need to do? And I said, you said, do you need a shower or something like that?
Yeah, I said, do I need to shower and, I don't know, put on deodorant or something like that?
Yeah. And I said, no, you just need Axe and a ponytail. And so for those of you who are watching on video, Jonathan is, he's in the health insurance industry, and he's an insurance guy. Typically, he is our insurance guy, both Christian and I. And he's not your typical health insurance guy for a lot of reasons, but also his appearance. Most health insurance people you see have like short hair, they wear certain things. Jonathan's right now rocking some sandals and has some longer hair. And I was just curious, have you always had long hair before? Because when I met you, you had short hair. But you had long hair. Is that a statement you're trying to make against health insurance or insurance in general? Or do you...
Well, so I started out in the insurance industry working for a insurance company, a life insurance company based out of New York. You can do that math yourself.
Okay.
And those guys kind of all run around in the same suits and the same haircuts. And I decided that I didn't want to continue in that mold. And then my other thing is that I'm also growing it out, and I'm not going to cut it until the Cowboys win the Superbowl.
Oh my gosh, I did not know the story behind that.
Yeah.
This thing's going to be touching like lower back. You're a huge Cowboys fan?
I am.
But
yeah.
you're not from Dallas.
So no, I was born on the East Coast.
Okay.
Lived in San Diego for 18 years, but I kind of grew up here. So
Oh, okay. So
from 7 to mid 20s, I grew up here. So
okay. Makes sense then. Cowboys win the Super Bowl. Dang. Wow. Whenever that happens, so we're recording this now as a video. That I feel like that's going to be a really good video for us to bring you back on the podcast or a video show. When the Cowboys win
next year.
It could be.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah, I mean, anything's possible. You know,
my wife's hoping that it's next year.
Gotcha. Yeah, so she's probably not a huge fan. I'm guessing.
No.
Your hair's longer than hers, though, right?
It's getting there. Yeah, It's probably close.
Dang. All right. So anyway, we're going to talk about BruttForce Strategies today. We're not going to necessarily talk about the hair every time. But if you guys are interested, you guys should definitely wait till the end to find out more about Jonathan and reach out to him for some health insurance stuff and to talk about hair. But so tell us a little bit about your company, BruttForce Strategies.
So, well, I started in the business, like I said, with a life insurance company, and really struggled at that. I actually was originated in the automotive repair business. So obviously completely different things.
Connected.
But I was spending 60, 80 hours a week at a repair shop, running repair shops, training guys. And my wife said she's pregnant. So I said, okay, I'm quitting my job.
Wow.
Because I have 5 kids and I didn't want to miss another one growing up. So I decided I was going to do something different with my life, and I put my resume out there, and insurance companies started calling me. So I kind of got into the insurance business by accident. And a year ago, I went out on my own and became an independent agent, and it's been great. Best decision I made.
Just to switch off completely from the other insurance agency?
Well, yeah, going from a captive situation where I really only had one product to sell to a independent perspective where I can really have a lot of different options and really help people find what's a good fit for their need.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever, or was it ever a dream of yours to like own your own business, or was that never a thought?
You know, I've always been a hustler. By the time I was 10, I was mowing yards. I was pushing lawnmowers down the street, had a lawnmower and a weed eater and a 100-foot extension cord and a broom.
Nice.
And so, I mean, I had 15 yards when I was a kid.
Heck yeah.
And
I don't know why we never exchanged that, because I started mine when I was 9, like very similar situation. And I don't know how that never came up with.
Well, my folks wouldn't give me any money.
Yeah, same
so
here.
If I wanted something, they were like, well, go figure out a way to make some money. So,
right, you're forced into entrepreneurship.
Yeah, exactly. So,
That's cool. So yeah, I think that, what is it? I guess sometimes it's the best thing for starting a business is you're kind of like forced into it a little bit. Because before, I guess with the other insurance agency, they kind of treated it as independent, or not independent, but like you still ran it as your own like business, or?
Oh yeah. I mean, basically the insurance business is you eat what you kill business. So
there was no base salary or anything?
No.
Really?
So yeah, I went from a six-figure income over in the automotive repair business to a eat what you kill situation. And
yeah,
after a year and a half over there, my wife said, I appreciate you teaching people about money, but we're out. Can you go figure out how to make some?
Yeah. Dang. Wow. And I guess just from because we met at a networking group, and that's you had been with that company for a little bit, but ever since I've known you, and I think even just introducing you to Christian, it's always been with health insurance, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cool. So you fell into this. You're actually like some of our questions you kind of like elaborated on. So you didn't necessarily choose the insurance business. It's kind of like you fell into that. But why? Like the insurance you're telling people about money, it doesn't have necessarily to do with health insurance. So why did you make that pivot to health insurance versus just staying with like a financial advisor and going that insurance route, or auto insurance rather?
Well, so in my mind, when I got into the financial business, I was like, great, because all these guys that I've been working with for the last 20 years in the auto repair business really need help with financial planning. What I found was that they really just wanted to buy beer, cigarettes, and tools and didn't want to do anything with financial planning. But what they really shared with me mostly was that, hey, I can't even afford my health insurance, so I really need help there. So that's kind of how I made that transition into the health insurance business. And it's really allowed me to kind of do both now, because now I can create bandwidth in their budgets from health insurance and then help them make some decisions about the other stuff.
Yeah. And speaking of bandwidth, I think that, I know you've at least saved us $300. And you would think, my wife's a nurse, you would think we'd have really good health insurance, and it's really good for her. I think it's like $70 a month for her. And it's like amazing health insurance for her. But then when you add me, it's like $600.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, some of the places that you would think would have really great plans, school districts, you would think that just have a great plan, and they are good for the teachers usually, but then for the families, same situation.
So does Megan have good? So Christian's girlfriend is a teacher.
I think she has something decent in place.
But like, if she ever had a family, like it probably wouldn't be good for them. Or?
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Oh, I can tell you how much it would be to add family.
Yeah.
It's the same.
It's the same thing.
$600 for a spouse and another $600 for.
Dang.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Dang. Okay. So if you're a teacher, this is kind of not a segue for them, but if you're a teacher and you're paying too much for health insurance, give Jonathan a call. We'll talk about his number later.
What do you think it's the number one thing that you enjoy the most with what you're doing right now?
Boy, I really think just being able to help people, and people are getting crushed by their healthcare bills, and really being able to create that flexibility in their budget really it makes a big difference for people. Mm-hmm. You know, you might save you guys $300, and I might save another family $1,200 a month. So I mean, it's a big deal.
Yeah, $1,200. That's a lot of money.
I mean, you can get a couple jet skis or a boat or a new truck or whatever with that.
Mm-hmm.
Dang. Yeah, that's. I guess you're making more of an actual impact for us. I guess we help other people's businesses grow, which makes an impact on theirs. But yours is literally like, this is our family and saving us money, but also like, hey, if we go to the doctor, we're not going to be paying $1 million out of pocket. Yeah. Now, let's move a little bit to a segue. We follow you on social media. I think I'm following you on both Facebook and Instagram. I don't know if you have a Twitter or not. I don't necessarily follow you there. You do have one?
Yeah.
What is your favorite one, or have you for business or like your clients, like what's your favorite social media to like interact with or that you enjoy the most?
I get a lot of interaction on LinkedIn.
Oh, I would not have guessed that.
And I get, I think because I've really been on LinkedIn a while, and I started in the business using LinkedIn, so I really developed some relationships on LinkedIn. And then Instagram, surprisingly, I didn't think was going to be good for me, but the more I seem to post and start to learn the whole hashtag thing and kind of tagging people, it's been good.
Do you do stories at all on there, or
a little bit?
A little bit. Nice.
Still playing around with it.
Nice. And we're just playing around too. There was a new update yesterday or 2 days ago where you can add like lyrics to like stories. So, you pick your favorite, who's your favorite artist? Who do you listen to? What's in your car right now?
Man, playlist.
Yeah, what's that playlist?
I listen to a lot of stuff.
But right now, if we go to your car and you're like, okay, this is it.
I bet if you popped open my Spotify on my phone right now, there's Pitbull.
No, oh really?
Yeah.
Okay, we see you over there. Okay, so playing some Pitbull, but you say, for example, you pull up a song by Pitbull, it will show the song, but it also show the lyrics. So it could be you in the background, and then it'll show the lyrics to the song or whatever. So
that's cool.
Yeah, it's a new feature. We don't have it yet, or at least I don't have it yet.
I've seen some people do it, but I haven't checked if I
found the Facebook camera that you can film a video and add a song to it. And do you have that one?
No, Facebook camera.
Yeah,
is it a different app?
Or is it Facebook prompted me to download the app.
Really?
I'll show it to you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely something that I haven't seen. That's the crazy thing is like with social media. I mean, with health insurance, you got new plans and new things like that. But social media, I feel like we're pretty on top of it as far as like new things that are coming out. But I have not even heard of that. Like, there's so many crazy things. So LinkedIn, that's a good place to connect with you, and then also Instagram. I can see that though. Instagram just has the numbers. Very good visual. And you, at least on LinkedIn, you don't necessarily use it as much. But I know specifically on Facebook and stuff, you use a lot of your daughter and kind of family oriented, which is kind of plays right into the role of the health insurance stuff.
Yeah, and well, I can tell you that I get much more engagement on
She's
stuff
prettier
my
for
daughter's
sure.
doing.
Yeah.
She is. She's my tiny little angel. But I post something business and I don't get much engagement, but people go crazy over her. So
yeah, whatever keeps the eyeballs there.
Yeah,
that's good. Now you just need her to come work for you and maybe start because how old is she now?
She'll be 4 in November.
Okay, so make sure she's at least 5. She needs to have some kind of childhood. So 5, she can start working for you, and then your business should just blow up.
Is that what you have planned in the future?
For mine? Oh, yeah. So,
well, if you use your children for advertising, then you might talk to your CPA about that. But
why? What happens? Tell us. What happens?
So you can pay your child as a 1099 contract.
Yeah. How old do they have to be?
For advertising. Any age.
Any age. Okay. Well, we may use that because, yeah.
I'm not an accountant, so please ask your CPA.
Yeah. There's big blinking red lights going on right now. Hello, we are not accountants. We are not accountants. But yeah, so my daughter's due in September. I figure by May or June of next year, we could start using her for advertising.
All right. How do you currently advertise your business?
So I just do a lot of posting right now. I really haven't spent a ton of money on advertising. I've been.
It doesn't have to be just online. It could be anything else that you do.
I do a little paper. It's called the Coffee News, the Dallas Coffee News. So I advertise in that.
Where's that distributed at?
So it sits around at coffee shops, auto repair shops, different places where people are kind of sitting, waiting for their food or waiting for their car, maybe a dentist office.
Have you gotten business from that?
Yeah. I've gotten a couple deals from that.
Cool.
Is it a good picture of you, or
It's just a little ad. And
that's That's true, though. If you're just sitting there, I mean, a lot of people jump on their phone, but I do grab a magazine or something if they're out of place.
Yeah.
That's a good spot. I've never heard of that. Have you heard of that thing?
He'd probably be good to have on your podcast at some point.
The guy from that?
Yeah.
Yeah, introduce us. That'd be a cool guy. Good connection. We don't do any print advertising, so no way, shape, and form would we be doing that. But I like that idea, though, for that spot. So speaking of advertising, and specifically online, like you said, you haven't done too much online marketing. You've done some offline that's been successful, which is good. What's the biggest struggle that you have with online marketing then?
I think keeping my website up to date, because there's always so much changing, is a big deal. I think at some point I'm going to have to probably hire somebody.
Yeah, we know a couple of people.
I know a few.
So what do you mean it's always changing then?
Well, the business is always changing, so there's always new plans out there, and there's always new content as far as just health insurance stuff. I mean, it's just always changing. So I mean, they've lifted some regulations, so there's new companies coming to the market. So it's
So when you say that, can people like not right now, but like let's just say like you can actually go to your website and you could see the different plan options from that, or is it more just like information about like if you're a family, this is the types of plans that you should get into, or what's?
Yeah, but that's constantly a moving target.
Gotcha.
And there's always new options, and so it's kind of finding there's no perfect plan. I wish there was, so you kind of have to
take the best of everything.
I would start with the need first, what they need as far as health insurance, and then we go to budget, and then we kind of try to blend the two together and get them as close as you can. But seems like all of them have a little hole in them somewhere.
Yeah, I think that's what you do well with me anyway. Is like, hey, look, are you healthy? How much are you going to go to the doctor? What's your budget? What's this? And like literally customizing a plan specific for you or specific for me. Because right. I mean, that's the most important part. Like, look, if I go to the doctor 6 times a year, then that's going to be completely different than if I go once for an appointment. It's like, it's really hard for me to pay. I'm not going to say how much I pay, but I don't pay too much, which you should definitely contact Jonathan for. But, so it's really hard for me to keep handing over money if I'm like, I'm not using this. But then also the customized plan, you know my plan well enough that I could just go and talk to you about it. Like the one time I did go to the doctor, I was like, sweet, I'm glad this is all covered. It cost me like $20.
Yeah.
So,
and a lot of people now, we put the teledoc or the 1-800 call your doctor thing on almost all of them. And people use that a lot. It saves them from having to go hang out at the nasty doctor's office with a bunch of sick people, and so they can just call an 800 number and say, hey, I got a sinus infection, and they'll usually call in a prescription for you. So
nice. Easier. So you give people easy access to drugs.
Yeah.
Nice.
Exactly.
So what does 2019 look like for your company?
Well, we wrapped up 2018 really strong, and I think last year we saved people about $750,000.
$750,000.
Our goal this year is to help people save $1 million. So
holy cow!
We're just gonna keep raising the bar for ourselves and keep helping people save money, and it's.
I'm only 300 or so of that. That's a lot of people. It would be.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And I mean, you do a lot of networking. I know.
That's how we met.
Networking. Yeah. Do you go to? I mean, what's a day in the life? What it look like?
Phone calls, reading books, But, I tell people really a lot of what I do is I just get out there and shake hands and kiss babies, and somewhere in between I make some money. So,
yeah,
it's just out there building relationships, and, somehow that brings money to the table for the family. So
that's all that matters there. So Yeah, so Christian talked a little bit about it when he was talking about that. It made me think of you obviously did something very similar. Or were you doing something similar with the other insurance company before you went to health insurance? Or what do you attribute the success for the health insurance route? Like you said, I mean, I know people need it, but people need help with money too. But like, did you change your strategy, or what do you attribute the success with the health insurance route?
I think just being in the game long enough to kind of figure it out. I mean, you know, in the automotive industry, you just had customers come in the door. They either called you or they showed up on a tow truck, or, you know, they pushed their cars into the parking lot or whatever. But so I really had no experience finding my own clients. So that was really the curve for me. The learning curve was learning how to find who my prospective clients were and get in front of them. So
do you know what that is right now? Like who really defined, like who's the perfect person for you, or the perfect group, or whoever? So like, who is that perfect client for you?
I do a lot of individual coverage. So ICs, 1099,
okay,
contract labor. I mean, that's so realtors. Almost all realtors are kind of on their own as far as health insurance goes. So, I mean, anybody that's in the I call it the eat what you kill industry, you know, they're pretty much all on their own. So
that's true. And I don't think I've ever heard you bring that up. Usually you have some kind of cool story about something hitting a windshield, or you know, some kind of crazy health insurance, or like how much you save somebody from. But I don't think I've ever heard you talk about specifically like realtors, because I mean, for me, that just gets my mind rolling. I'm like, yeah, that's true. Like they're feast or famine basically, like, and they do need consistent healthcare. It's not like, oh, this month I'm going to have health insurance and next month I'm not, and the month after that I'm going to have health insurance. But I think that's a really good way to kind of look at it, is those independent contractors, those 1099 people, and just talking out loud. I think I may be able to actually send some people your way that because of that. That's a good place to be.
I think before you were asking about what type of questions we're going to ask. This one, it's about the purchase. So what purchase of $100 or less has most positively impacted your life? It could be in the last 6 months or recent memory.
Purchase of $100 or less.
Yep. Yeah. Did we stump you for a second?
Well, basically any technology stuff I usually get hand-me-down from my wife. So
so you didn't purchase it, so that doesn't count. Okay, what else we got here?
Has significantly impacted my life. Man, I don't know. I'm not a shopper kind of guy. I'm these flip-flops that I have on because I tore up my last pair, you know, but
that counts.
Yeah.
How has that positively impacted your life?
It allows my feet to air out, and it reminds me every day that I probably need to take somebody up on going and getting a pedicure. I've been a little bit opposed to going and get a pedicure, but apparently it's something that I'll enjoy.
You've never
Nope.
had a pedicure?
Wow. So Christian gets them, I think, like once or twice a month, usually. He stepped away from the microphone to check on a camera. So at this point, I'm just going to kind of roll with this, with how often he gets pedicures.
No, I only got it once, and it was
once per month.
It was life-changing.
It was life-changing, yeah. No,
so why only once then?
I went with a girlfriend. And
with a girlfriend or your girlfriend?
No, with the girlfriend.
Oh, okay. That sounded like you said a girlfriend. Like, oh, yeah, I got another one. Girlfriend.
Yeah, she introduced me to it, and I think she gets it maybe like once a month or something like that. And manis too.
Yeah, manis, the hands.
Manis and petties.
Manis and petties. That's the term. So after this, guys, call Jonathan for your healthcare needs and health insurance needs, and then we're all going to go get petties, right? Is that petties? Yeah, petties. All right, so this could be a tough question. Maybe not. I don't know. Prepare yourself. Let's get that going. So in the last 5 years, what's a new belief, behavior, or habit that has most improved your life?
Oh, by far reading books.
Really?
Reading books. I was not much of a reader before I got into being self-employed, and so I think that was kind of key.
What any book that stands out for you?
Thinking Grow Rich is always a good one. The 7 Habits of Successful People.
7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey.
I think the first one I read was Tony Robbins' Unlimited Power, which was pretty in depth for a first read.
Right, this is my first dive into business books.
It's a big book too.
It's a big book.
I don't think Tony Robbins writes small books.
It's really technical.
We have one over there. That's I think it's down over there. Money Master the Game. So I read that.
That's his new one, right?
Yeah, no, he has a new one. It's a lot shorter because a lot of people complain that Money Master the Game was like 500 or 600 pages or something, and it was super long. And you have to really he goes really in depth. And I love that stuff, but I can see how a lot of people are like, got halfway through, I'm out. But his new one's like 200 pages, and it's very like, look, do this, don't do that. I'm not going to explain a bunch of it.
Nice.
But Tony Robbins is a very good.
Somebody just gave me one last week, the Black Book of Connections, or
I think that's connected to the Little Red Book and the Little Black Book. Yeah. Because there's a Little Red Book of Sales you should definitely check out.
I've seen that one. I haven't heard of it.
Yeah, I think it's the same guy. It's got a Little Black Book of Connections, I think.
Yeah, he's amazing. Plus, he's got little pictures, like little quotes or something like that in there.
It looks like it's going to be pretty easy to blow through.
Yeah, it is. But it's definitely like he wants him like that just for really good feel when holding the book, but also like you can just kind of take it with you anywhere. It's kind of like your little sales Bible or whatever. Like it's really good. Interesting.
Do you have like any structure when it comes to like reading the books and getting them, digesting them or whatever? Or is it more of a whenever you have a free time, you just pick up the book and start reading?
No, I have
or how did you develop
I schedule it.
Okay.
I schedule it in my calendar.
So like from this time to this time, I'm going to read.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, otherwise you just get something gets in the way.
There's too much other stuff happening. I get sidelined by Facebook all the time.
Oh yeah. Thank you. That helps us. We thank you. Somebody else said that.
My wife will say, "Can you go get me a glass of water?" And then I'll pick up my phone, and all of a sudden I'll be on Facebook, and she'll be like, "Whoa, what about the water?"
It's like 20 minutes later. Thank you. We appreciate that. Another book you should check out, though, it's called Atomic Habits by James Clear. It's really, really good.
Atomic
Habits.
Okay.
Really good. All right. So I feel like this is something that a lot of people talk about, or at least they think about. And I think that I know that Christian and I have talked about it before. It's like, what do you think that you wish you would have known when you first started that you know now? You're like, okay, if I would have just known that, I would be in a completely different space, or be doing something completely different, or I'd be so much farther ahead.
I think never let your foot off the gas. I think when I first started in the business, you'd get to a point where things were good, and then you'd kind of back off, and then it's like going to a stoplight. So you come to the stoplight, and then now you got to start all over again. Mm-hmm. So I think just always staying on the gas is.
That's a good visual for me too, and I've never really thought about it that way. But we've talked about that before, at least.
Yeah, at some point in our company, we did the same thing. We were like, okay, this is too much. Let's just let go. And now we look back at it, and it's definitely a mistake. We should definitely just keep marching forward. If it's too much work, then let's hire someone else. Let's just always keep
and
going.
At least pound through the workload until you.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't always stay on all the time. So.
Right. Yeah. It goes. I mean, business ebbs and flows for everybody. There's always a busy season or a busier season. But yeah, that's something that we had to learn too. But I like your analogy of I really can see the pedal on the gas, putting the foot on the gas. It's good.
What do you think it's something that you failed at, and how did you learn from it?
Something I failed at, and how to rush a lot of things. But as far as business wise,
if you have a personal one, you can talk personal too, or two, or both of them. There's no prejudice here.
We'll keep it to business. I'm on my third marriage, so we'll let you do that math yourself. I can tell you that the third time's been a charm. But as
after you get the person the water, right?
Exactly. I think really finding what I was going to focus on with my business. I mean, because starting out, I was kind of all over the place, and I didn't know what I was doing, like I said, and just kind of really narrowing it down to, I mean, I do a lot of things, but I really focus on health insurance.
Yeah.
And so I think I failed on that early on.
Yeah. I think it's hard for people to understand, like, if we sold, or if we did like print, like with business cards and stuff too, it's like, oh, these guys do your digital marketing. They also do your print. And oh yeah, by the way, they also sell AT&T and they also do IT. Like, I think people would just be super confused for us, but for you, like, I just know you as like, hey, if you need health insurance, you call Jonathan. Like anything that makes it easier to sell to other people too, is because they're like, oh, what does he do? It's like, look, he does the health insurance, just call him, and it's easier to sell for me that way, versus like, well, he does health insurance. I think he dabbles in a little bit of this, but he does a little bit of that and does a little bit of this. And I just know personally, because we go to the networking group, and you probably like, ears are bleeding now, because one of the biggest things I tell people is like, look, if you want to be around, you've got to stop telling people that everybody is your target market, or that I do everything. Like,
I'm looking for anyone who...
Yeah, I'm looking for anyone who is breathing, or like the Mary Kay people, anyone who has skin. No, like, come on. Like, that's just, I mean, it's bad.
That's not just Mary Kay. That's all of them.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. So that's good too. And I think that's good advice for everybody who's listening too, is, listen to what Jonathan's saying, figure out, what you enjoy too. Because I feel like, at least from our interactions with you, is, you do have a passion for that, and you do, like, I mean, you save people $750,000. That's a crap ton of money. So that's important, having the passion, but also being specific too. All right, so we're going to do a couple of fun ones.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, that's all we have left, so.
I'm ready for the fun.
Well, it's not fun. We get to find out a lot about somebody whenever they answer these questions. So I'm just giving like a prelude here, just saying, like, what you answer on these questions, Christian will judge you. I will not. Christian will judge you.
I will never.
He would never do that. But, all right. So you obviously have Netflix, right?
I do.
All right. What is, if you have a current binge, or if your most recent binge that you finished and kind of got off of it, like, what's your current binge right now with Netflix?
So our current binge, we just burnt through the first 2 seasons of Ozark.
Oh, okay. That's recommended 98% match for me. How is it?
I've never watched it, but I've heard a lot about it. Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Kind of give us a 15-second synopsis here. What are we doing?
So a financial planner and his partner start laundering money for the cartel, and
obviously
some money disappears, and it just kind of builds on that over 2 seasons, and it's every day in their life is just
hell.
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
So, that reminds me of the show. Dang it, I can't remember what it's called. I think it's called Good Moms or Good Parents. Dang it, I can't remember the name of it. But basically, it sounds exactly like that a little bit. But there's these 3 moms, and they all have different issues. One of them, like, her husband's cheating on her. The other one is like a single mom, and she can't take care of her daughter and potentially have a custody issue. And the other one has a daughter who has needs some kind of like heart or lung or something, so she needs money. So they all 3 were like, yeah, let's go rob this grocery store. So they robbed the grocery store, thought they were going to get $30,000. And like, that's just minor stuff. Nobody's going to look at it. They ended up taking $500,000.
Oh no.
And they stole it through a money laundering company, or a money laundering company. Yeah, because that's legal. It was like basically a drug dealer who was just doing some smart drug dealing, but he was laundering the money through the grocery store, and they found him, or the drug dealer found those ladies. And so the whole story now is that they're like, okay, well, we want this money. And then they're like, well, crap, now we're out of the $500,000. We're back to square one. He took all the money back. So they start working with this guy too.
Was that a TV show? Or
yeah, it's a TV show. It's a series on Netflix. But then the exact same thing happens is they lose that money. And so now they have to figure out ways. So it sounds like the Ozarks is like the more manly version of what happens on this show. But I actually enjoyed that show too.
It's like a Breaking Bad. And also there's another show called Weeds. These are old shows, but they revolve around the same thing. It's like normal people dealing with drugs and they somehow get involved with them.
It's the archetype or something. I can't remember what it's called, but that's why Breaking Bad was so successful, is because people are like, I can relate to that guy. Not the meth part, but that's the ladies that were like, we're suburban moms. Like nobody's ever going to, think that we're the ones who are doing this money laundering.
Well, and it's the I'll do whatever it takes to help my family member. I think is how they kind of end up in that situation. So.
That's actually, with Walter White, he's like, look, I got to have some money for my kids. I'm about to die. And then Ozark, why'd they do that?
Growing your hair out? You're trying to change your identity?
We can edit that part out. He's laughing, but he's not telling if yes or no.
No, just still waiting for the Cowboys to win the Super Bowl.
Gotcha. So, okay, to go back to that for a second, is this like one of those, what is it called? Like, where you believe something that's, I can't think of what it is. Is it superstitious right now? So you're like, if I cut my hair, the Cowboys will never win the Super Bowl. But if I leave it long, then there's a chance that they could win the Super Bowl. Like, are you superstitious about that? Like, do you put it in a ponytail on Sundays or no?
I do not.
Okay.
I'm a little concerned that they're never going to win a Super Bowl.
Okay, we have it here first, guys. We had it first. They will. I mean, the 90s weren't that long ago.
Oh, yeah, 96, I think.
It was. So we're going on. I mean, it's been a couple of years.
Yeah.
I think, I was 5 or 6 when they won the Super Bowl. 5, actually. Wow.
Yeah.
So it's just a couple of years ago. But we're, hopefully that'll happen. All right, cool. So now we know a little bit more about you for the Netflix binge. And there was one other question I was going to ask you, but we didn't write it down, and I can't remember it off the top of my head. So we're very candid.
We burnt through Grey's Anatomy, all the series Grey's Anatomy, and The Office last year too.
Have you seen Parks and Rec?
No.
I liked Parks and Rec better than The Office. Have you seen Parks and Rec?
No.
Really? Okay. And that's what everybody told me, is like, if you're going to watch The Office or Parks and Rec, you should watch Parks and Rec. Because it's like the same thing as The Office, the kind of like the monologue, kind of pull them to the side, cameras following you everywhere.
Yeah, it's very similar to The Office, But I don't think I've ever seen all of The Office or Grey's Anatomy. I've seen a lot of Grey's Anatomy, thanks to Megan. Thank you, Megan.
Yep. I was going to say, video shout out.
But I've never seen like from start to end.
The Office, my daughter, my 16-year-old, says that The Office is kind of my sense of humor.
So, I like that dry kind of... I like The Office. I think it's funny. Parks and Rec was like, I watched the first 2 episodes because I like shows that are 20 minutes because then I can watch the whole thing. I just can't find myself, unless it's really good, to sit in front of a show for 45 minutes anymore. Thank goodness for Netflix. But yeah, I think the Parks and Rec, it took a little while, but their humor is very similar too. And they're just so stupid that it's funny and realistic.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah. If you liked The Office, you'll like Parks and Rec. I'll just say that. And if you like, I don't think it's the other way around. Like, if you watch Parks and Rec first, it'll be harder to go to The Office than it is to go to the other one. All right. So anyway, back to business. Did you have anything?
No.
Okay. So obviously, more importantly, guys, here, buy some health insurance. So, Jonathan, how can our audience find out more about BruttForce Strategies?
They can go to the website.
What's the website? We're going to link it up, but
it's BruttForce.com.
Okay.
Well, you have a really cool domain too.
Yeah, you had a cool domain.
Yep, it's BRUTT.
Oh, you have another one.
I've got a couple of them.
Okay,
so,
go.
TexasPPO.com.
Okay.
And then I also have /mypremiums.com.
Yeah, that one. That's a good one.
Did you come up with that?
Yeah.
Nice. It was that book that you were reading.
$1.99 on GoDaddy.
Nice.
Dang.
You should always purchase domains at domains.bitbranding.co, but I'm just kidding. But for real. Awesome. All right. So what about any social, or what's the best? LinkedIn's probably the best place for them to find you?
LinkedIn, they can find me, yeah.
Okay. So let's search for Jonathan Brutto on LinkedIn and just let him know. If you're requesting him, he'll probably approve it. If not, just be like, hey, I heard you guys on the Marketing Natives. And he'll accept you.
Yep. I even accept to get connections for other health insurance people.
Yeah.
So.
I think you were telling me before that another health insurance guy gives you a ton of business.
Yeah, they do. Because, a lot of them are, captive agents. So they only have one product. So a lot of times they'll call me and say, hey, I don't have something that's a good fit for this person. Mm-hmm. So I'm able to help those people.
Awesome. All right, guys, thanks for tuning into another special episode today with Jonathan Brutto from BruttForce Strategies, a good friend of ours, and hope you learned a lot. And if you need any help with health insurance, make sure you give Jonathan a call, and I really think that he's going to be able to help you out. And if this is your first time listening, make sure that you subscribe, because then you get notifications. We will be back next week with a regular scheduled episode, and we keep you up to date with what's happening with social. So it is a timely episode. That's why it's important to subscribe, and we also like that. And if you've been listening for a while, you should really give us a rating and review. We will start doing rating and review shout outs. I've seen this or heard this on other podcasts, but happy to give you a shout out. You go leave us a rating and review. We will give you, and if you have a business, your business is shout out on our podcast just for leaving one. So make sure that you go do that, and we will talk to you guys next week.
Bye.
The Marketing Natives podcast is a production of Bit Branding.